officers of the Crown, good and loyal citizens, gather around an announcement of great importance. When the citizens of an area, be it municipality, region, province, and or other, elect a group of individuals by an open election using secret ballots to administer the affairs of the area, it is done with great trust and respect. Peaceful and orderly transfer of authority from one elected group to another is the most basic form of democracy. Be it known, far and wide, and locally as well, that those here having been duly elected will take the oath of office of mayor and municipal councillors for the corporation of the town of Lincoln in the region of Niagara. Let the official swearing-in ceremony now take place here in front of all present as witnesses, given at the town of Lincoln this 21st day of November in the year of our Lord 2022. God bless Canada. God save the King.
Calling the November 21st, 2022 inaugural meeting of the Town of Lincoln Council to order. You may have a seat. Good evening. I'm Julie Kirklos, Town Clerk, Director of Legislative Services for the Town of Lincoln, and will be presiding for a portion of this evening's meeting. I have the pleasure and the honor to welcome members of the Town of Lincoln, Council-elect, Regional Council Member, and elected representatives, invited guests, dignitaries, and town staff, as well as those watching the live stream for the Town of Lincoln's inaugural meeting for the council term of 2022 to 2026. I would like to welcome to the podium Emily Caldwell from West Lincoln Secondary School, and I kindly ask that those who are able to stand do so, as Emily will be singing the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all
Thank you, Emily. That was beautiful. We now come to the land acknowledgement. It's our pleasure to welcome Natalie Valencia and Cheyenne Degan from Niagara Regional Native Center, who will be reading the land acknowledgement and welcome message for our newly elected council. Please have a seat, everybody. Is Natalie here? Okay, they might just be running a little bit late, so we'll move on from that. Right now, I'll call forward to the podium the Honorable Justice of the Peace, Tanya Loeb, who will now administer the declarations of office individually for the elected mayor and members of council.
Good evening. I'll now call Mayor-elect Her Worship Sandra Easton to join me at the podium and recite her oath of office.
I, Sandra Easton, having been elected to the office of mayor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this promise, this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And now the town clerk will present the chain of office and the ceremonial mace to Her Worship Mayor Sandra Easton. So I'll now call each councillor individually, beginning from Ward 1 through Ward 4, to join me at the podium and recite their oath of office. Adam Russell.
Go ahead.
I'll stand over here while you do that.
I, Adam Russell, having been elected to the office of council in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if under oath. Oh, Mayor, you gotta sign that.
Diane Rint-Jima.
I, Diane Rint-Jima, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Declared before me at the town of Lincoln in the region of Niagara this 21st day of November 2022. Thank you.
Sign here. And, oh, yeah, I'll give this back to you right here.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
John Pachariva.
Okay. That doesn't help. Thank you, Tone, for having my back. I, John D. Pachariva, have been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or an improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if it is under oath. Okay. Fancy.
Tony Brunet.
I, Tony Brunet, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing it is of the same force and effect as if it is made under oath. Thank you.
Anna Murray.
I, Anna Murray, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Mike Mikulik.
I, Mike Mikulik, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise to declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise the office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received or will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Lynn Timmers.
I, Lynn Timmers, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Greg Reimer.
I, Greg Reimer, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Lincoln, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
So all of these were declared before me in the town of Lincoln, in the region of Niagara, on this 21st day of November 2022. So I'd like to congratulate all members of the newly elected council for the term 2022 to 2026, and I wish you all the best in your public service.
Thank you, Justice Loeb, for officially swearing in our council members. I would like to welcome to the podium the Town of Lincoln's Chief Administrative Officer, Michael Kirkopoulos, to provide his comments.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start my comments, I do want to read a land acknowledgement this evening. The Town of Lincoln is situated on treaty land. The land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattawandronk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe peoples, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in the Niagara region today. The Town of Lincoln stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the land on which we live. Good evening, Mayor, councilors, staff, distinguished guests, and the Lincoln community. I am pleased to join you on this momentous occasion as we begin our journey together over the next 4 years. On behalf of the staff of the Town of Lincoln and the community, congratulations to each of you. We look forward to achieving collective success and continuing to build a welcoming, vibrant, connected, and resilient community. One that we can all be proud to be a part of and proud to call home. Thank you to my colleagues who dedicated their time and organized this event this evening. As well, I'd like to thank Vienna Estates for welcoming us into their beautiful facility. It's been a pleasure to co-create this evening's occasion and to be here in such a fantastic setting. There is much to be proud of as we embark on the next term and reflect on all that has been accomplished over the last 4 years. And this momentum, this commitment to our priorities, sets our pace for continuing to make progress and achieve important milestones of success. But first, let's reflect and celebrate what we've accomplished together over the last term. Our future-forward approach to the betterment of our residents and business owners sets us apart as a community that prides itself on being welcoming, connected, vibrant, and resilient. A place to learn, a place to grow, and a place to belong. This community vision that Council set has been the foundation of resource choices and unwavering focus, enabling significant community betterment, even amongst the COVID pandemic. At the beginning of the last term of Council, collectively we developed this set of priorities to help move our community forward. These priorities, to be welcoming, connected, vibrant, and resilient, were decided to ensure a future-fit Lincoln, and they most certainly helped guide our actions. Collectively, we delivered on over 60 key projects and initiatives of significance These were significant future-focused initiatives focusing on the future that will help our children and grandchildren. A couple of those recent highlights: the initiation and success of the Youth Skills Studio, building a sustainable Lincoln, and completing Rotary Park, the Lincoln Museum and Cultural Center, and our work on the Prudhoe site, which has begun. These are a few projects that focus on collaboration, the overall well-being of our community, our children and youth, and really intergenerational opportunities. As we look forward to this new term of council, strong collaboration must remain between council and staff to ensure that we can deliver on our priorities with excellence, working on behalf of all residents of Lincoln. We will work towards increasing organizational effectiveness, ensuring financial sustainability, and enhancing our customer experience and betterment for all. Through the next 4 years, we may be faced with tough decisions or asked to prioritize projects. But if we collectively approach these challenges with continued respect, integrity, and ingenuity, always with our residents top of mind and eyes on the future, trusting in each other and respecting the expertise we bring to the table, I am confident that we can surmount any obstacle to help make Lincoln even greater and stronger as a community that grows, prospers, and belongs. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all my colleagues when I say that your dedication, Council, to this community and ours is more than just a job. We strive to serve others in making our community better. Together, we lead by valuing the people we work with, being humble, open to change, exemplifying humility, listening, trusting, and caring for everyone we work with and for. I will do everything in my power to ensure we move forward as one, together with Council, building upon past successes and continuing to make Lincoln the envy of the entire region. I truly believe together, Lincoln and the sky in Lincoln is limitless. Thank you again. Before I hand the mic over to Mayor Sandra Easton for the remainder of this evening's meetings, I do want to thank our Justice of the Peace, Tanya Loeb, our town crier, Alan Freeman, our bagpiper, Drew Marshall, Natalie Valencia, Emily Caldwell from the West Niagara Secondary School, and our town clerk and senior leadership team and other town staff in attendance. On behalf of the town clerk, I will now hand it over to Mayor Sandra Easton for the remainder of this evening's meeting.
Before we begin the inaugural address, I'd like to invite Councillor Anna Murray to the podium. In 2017, in consultation with my executive assistant and the clerk of the day, we decided that it would be appropriate and very, very fitting for those who had served on the Town of Lincoln Council to receive a mayor's medal to wear on occasions when we gathered together as a council, but also for those who had served before us to also be recognized. And this evening, it is my pleasure to present the Mayor's Medal, and they are numbered, which makes the legacy of them even more important. Number 39 to Councillor Anna Murray. And now I'm going to pin this on Councillor Murray. The Mayor's Medal for members of council, mayors and members of council, has a green crystal, Swarovski crystal on it. We also have mayor's medals for members of the community. I can't get this to detach itself, so I'll just keep talking here. We have other medals that are not distinguished by the crystal. However, nonetheless, also a very, very important token that we bestow on people. And I think this is all written up in the program, but it is part of our custom now. For this with pride, Councillor? I guess you're part of the team now.
Wonderful, thank you.
This is really such a wonderful venue. If any of you knew Pasquale, it was his dream. I think he'd be pretty happy we were here now. The word Viennese from the Italian means come this way, come, join us. And that was the kind of attitude that he had, and so to have so many people here this evening would make him very happy. Good evening to the Lincoln community, and thank you for joining us at the inaugural meeting of the 2022-2026 Town of Lincoln Council. I'm honored to be here tonight and to continue to serve you as the mayor of the Town of Lincoln. And I'm delighted to welcome you to Viennese Estates this evening. Viennese Estates represents a value-added farm facility where vineyards and orchards unite on this property. And I'm thrilled that the inauguration for the Town of Lincoln is available for live stream this evening. Thank you and welcome to those joining us from home. The message that I present tonight is for you as well, as though you were here with us in person. An inauguration meeting is a meaningful commencement for the town councilors being sworn into their 4-year term of council. It's lovely to see family and friends joining us and supporting their loved ones in a significant ceremony of civic life in our community. I want to take a moment to welcome special guests attending this evening. But before I do that, first I want to formally welcome all citizens who are live streaming. To my fellow council members, congratulations on your recent election. I'm excited to start a new term and look forward to working closely with you over the next few years. Regional Council Robert Foster, I believe he has been serving now for 22 years. And that includes his long service on the Town of Lincoln Council, as well as 4 years most recently as our regional councillor. Senator Peter Harder is a local Vineland resident. He went to Vineland Public School and to Beamsville High School. He served in the Canadian Senate since 2016. We have had 2 senators appointed from out of our community over the years. Thank you very much, Senator Harder, for attending. As a command performance, former mayors Ray Conkle and Bill Hodgson are with us this evening. It's wonderful to see you here, gentlemen. We've now had our picture taken, our annual photo taken. We haven't changed at all. I want to thank you very much for coming. You've certainly contributed to the genesis of the Lincoln agricultural economy, and I'm going to speak about that later. DSBN School Board Trustee Elizabeth Klassen. Thank you, Elizabeth, for attending, and congratulations on being reelected for your second term. Now, being introduced to the Catholic School Board of Niagara Trustees, I don't have the gentleman's name that's representing Camilo Cipriano. Thank you. Thank you very much for attending, Gino, and congratulations on your reelection. And Doug Joyner, who we know more recently as the mayor of the town of West Lincoln. He's certainly a friend to Lincoln, and we certainly have big business to deal with you over the next 4 years. Thank you very much for attending, Doug, and congratulations. And as the French separate school board trustee, Melinda Chartrand, is here this evening. Melinda, we thank you for coming this way and representing our French connection. We appreciate that, and congratulations on your election. Dr. Ian Potter, the Executive Director of the Vineland Research and Innovation Center, has been instrumental in nurturing the VRIC-Lincoln partnership, and we'll talk a good deal later about what's going on at VRIC. It's a happening place. Len Penichetti. Len, thank you very much for attending. Len isn't here in an official capacity, but he is certainly one of the important people in the business community, in the wine industry, and so we will assign him the duty of the official representative of the wine sector. We'll talk more about that later. We have former Councillor Paul McPherson, who's joined us this evening. He just couldn't stay away. Thanks very much, Paul, for attending. Many other communities members are here tonight. I see representatives from the BIA, Ray, and it's just great to have you come out. Stephanie, thank you. We have Jared, Brandon, and where's Leslie? Thank you very much for coming from the from the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank everyone that's here for everything that you do to keep the pulse of our community going, and for being present here tonight to endorse and to affirm what's happening with the inauguration of councillors and the mayor. CEO Kirkopoulos, thank you very much for your affirming words and your commitment. I'm very pleased to see as many members of our Lincoln staff team here. Thank you all for making this evening happen, and to all staff for your professional expertise, for your commitment, and for your dedication to our community. Thank you. The town of Lincoln continues to grow in the heart of Niagara, with a current population of about 26,000 individuals who can be found in the communities of Beamsville, Vineland, Vineland Station, Jordan, Jordan Station, Camden, Tintern, and Rockaway. Lincoln has a landmass of 163 square kilometers, with more than 67% as a protected greenbelt, and the remaining protected by the Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority and the Niagara Escarpment Commission. In the 16th and 17th century, if we were standing here having our first contact as white people with the indigenous people, only 7% of the landmass, if all those protections were in place, would be available for growth. And as time passes, we are certainly getting to the point where we would say, we're done. However, the province has other plans for us, And so we will be working with them and with our staff on how we will be directing those decisions. However, the town has and intends to deliberately ensure that the Greenbelt boundaries remain intact and that wetlands are protected. Protection of our wetlands is essential to preserve and support our thriving agricultural economy and its ecosystem. To further support growth, we seek to secure business expansion, retail and commercial businesses connected with agriculture, with education, science, small manufacturing, and health. 4 wards organize our town council, with 2 councillors representing and advocating for each ward. But most important is their advocacy for the entire system of Lincoln. I was acclaimed to the position of mayor in August, and this is proudly my 14th year as a member of the Lincoln Council, now beginning my 3rd term as mayor. This evening, as you're following along, you will hear me speak in this address about the vision that's been set by the community, the strategic directions that have been set by council with the involvement of staff, with the work plan that is executed by staff, and the evolution of the Center of Excellence for Agriculture and for Tourism. I will speak to the hope for children and our future as a community. Our town and community composition and sustainable Lincoln, our town and community composition are ever-changing, which is expected when working towards a livable and sustainable Lincoln. A citizen who commits to putting their name forth to serve on council is brave enough to believe in change and is willing to dig in, to prepare for debate on every issue and show up for the hard work. The most effective representatives listen deeply, are curious, and are empathetic. We need to be ready to hear our community members, ensuring that their engagement is meaningful. At the same time, we must speak the truth in every circumstance. The root of civic involvement is the desire and intention to leave a community better than it was. And we recognize the importance and value of understanding where we can move forward together. We achieve our goals by bringing all the disparate views and the parts of our community together as they remind us that we all have a voice that needs to be heard. We all have a vision of a prosperous future for our community. And the strength of our decisions is found in our character and in setting an example through action and strong policy. As most of you listening are aware, I have a background in health education, and research. It continues to drive my desire for a healthy community and a vision that acknowledges and supports growth. Prosperity, a sense of belonging. Our hand and heart servant leadership will guide us in a commitment to the next generation, and leadership with our children's future, when working in unison, will make us strong enough to make an impact, and we will. There's a song that suggests, regardless of the mountain we might face, we will climb it with will and determination, and always from a place of grace. Together, we will keep our sights on being attentive to what our community needs and effectively and skillfully find solutions as we move forward together. Our commitment as council of a shared vision for Lincoln with a mindset that focuses on continuing the work that has been completed over the last 8 years, we aim to intentionally achieve priorities set out in our evolving work plan and a belief in creating a future-fit community. The people of Lincoln have set our vision as a place to grow, a place to prosper, a place to belong. Council's collective strategic direction guides us to the resilience demonstrated in policy and rooted in Lincoln's financial, social, environmental, and economic well-being. Building resilience is like a muscle, and Jada DeWalt expresses the strength and resilience when she says, when we learn how to become resilient, we learn how to embrace the beautifully broad spectrum of the human experience. Julie, is that in a book in the library? Absolutely. It is speaking from our hearts, from the place of ordinary courage that guides us to share our experiences. However one illustrates the circumstances driving a productive outcome, it is grounded in the desire and commitment to do our best as servant leaders to the town of Lincoln, and being disciplined in achieving common ground when making decisions. And I must repeat that, because in this day where anyone says anything they want at any time, we have to remind ourselves that we are here to achieve common ground. We are not battling, we are looking for the best for our community. Embodying servant leadership is to accept, understand, and fully intend to tell the truth and demonstrate truth through action. The continued uncertainties as we move forward on the path of recovery will require perseverance to ensure everyone benefits from our collective leadership. To do this, we must support the business community with steadfast growth of employment opportunities in Lincoln. It will be essential to play an active role in developing young adults as they prepare to enter the workforce. We must remain supportive of existing businesses while raising brand and service awareness. Being infrastructure ready is vital for the development approvals completed in the last term of council. Being supportive, effective, and efficient with our financial planning approach and collaboration with Lincoln and Niagara, the province, and federally. We continue to be the start of infrastructure projects, to tie the start of infrastructure projects to provincial and much needed federal grants. This proactive approach to increase revenues beyond taxation has helped substantially create the facilities and services our community deserves and has come to expect. We must continue to leverage master plans and to access the advice of our community advisory committees to peel back the layers in decision-making. This will strengthen our already collaborative process of developing projects and services, including the successful attraction of revenue to support the local economy and the innovative nature of innovation central to the growth of many sectors, leading to our achievement as a center of excellence for agriculture. As we look to the future, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge how we got to where we are today. It goes back about 8 years, maybe a little more, when the then Mayor Bill Hodgson and Council included a value-added proposition in the official plan for Lincoln. It was finally accepted and approved by the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing in the spring of 2016. Quite frankly, I don't think they knew what to do about it. We actually wanted to do things on farms that were going to put money in the pockets of farmers. We were going to allow them to be in control of the complete value chain instead of selling off what they were growing just at the point where the price was likely to be improved. It positively impacted the approval process to support on-farm economic value chain that has led to the expansion of our agricultural economy. But I have to say to you, and Bill has said this to me, what good is a sound plan if it never gets off the ground? And so this council will take credit for that. The last two councils will take credit for that. And for the fact that we actually encouraged and recruited through the CAO the staff that had the right attitude, the how-to attitude. If you have an idea, there has to be a way for you to be able to bring that forward. It doesn't mean that it looks like it did exactly when you came in the door, but you're not leaving with no. Even though Mike says we could get to know, I've yet to see it. The Green Belt, as many have heard me say, is the gift that we could not have given ourselves. And that includes squandering a good, sound policy decision. And so we decided as a council that this approach would continue, and it would require considerable nurturing and expertise led by and a council and executed by staff. And to date, it has resulted in an expansion to over 55 wineries. It also meant that there were other policies and other actions that were being taken by the Vintners Quality Alliance as part of the Wine Council. It also meant that the Grape Growers of Ontario, who represent 500 farm families all over Ontario, there were things happening. There was activity taking place. If nothing was happening on the farms, the conversations they were having, the decisions they were making really wouldn't have had a place to land. And so for well over a decade, I'm just waiting for Len to shake his head yes. How old is the VQA? He's getting old and he can't remember. How much? 22 years, the whole time that Councillor Foster's been on council. So here we have hospitality and food and a beverage industry, including first-class restaurants, breweries, and distilleries. And the local wine sector is qualified in so many ways. I mean, think of all the prizes that the wineries are winning all over the world. So there are many levels of performance and success, and it's all embraced through our robust government relations programs. It's not always about being big, as I learned a couple of weeks ago when I went to an opening of Niagara Crush. You know, you don't have to leverage your house and your farm and everything else that you have in order to make wine if you're that talented person. There's a place where you can go now and you can pay for space, and I was amazed at the quality of the wine. It was really quite substantial. And so we recognize the many small farms that support the expanding farm markets, and many Lincoln farmers can be found at the farm gate and all over southwestern Ontario at fruit and vegetable markets. And there's not just fruit and vegetables, there is baking now, and there's cider, and there's grape juice, and all kinds of things. And we have a small sector now, an emerging sector, that is producing tree nuts, which is unique. Council has and intends to continue supporting a sustainable system of water for irrigation that is permanent infrastructure across Niagara. High-quality tender fruit, shrubs, trees is core to high-quality products, and it can only be relied on as a commodity through water when it is needed. The first economic development statement was published during the tenure of Mayor Ray Conkle and his council. And it was visible by the first greenhouses that started to emerge in Lincoln. Now, into the second generations, maybe in some cases the third, more greenhouses are being expanded above the bench. The greenhouse and horticultural sectors have made tremendous strides in expanding their markets in flowers and vegetables, shrubs and trees across Canada and deep into the United States. The diversity of agriculture is not only wine, juice, and spirits, but also a large poultry quota, eggs, cheese, dairy, and pork. Horticultural operations are all over Lincoln, and they're responding to the home renovation and the expansion in homes, number of homes being built, and people's desire to make a beautiful landscape on their own property. Vineland Research and Innovation Center is well recognized for their work improving greenhouse tomatoes, the taste and the color. They even have people that do that. Do you pay them, Ian? Sometimes. Cucumbers and Asian varieties that are in high demand, but require the ability to produce them for a mass market. Solutions to greenhouse pests are also a natural part of what they do, their research, and that's also very important across the world. Vineland Research recognizes the challenges in the availability of farm workers and has an emerging field in robotics to replace some of the limited workforce. Their prototypes are going to be used well into the future, I believe. And now I bring you to Paul Moyer, who was written up beautifully in last week's Niagara News. Paul Moyer of Moyer Farms began building this market around fancy apples. You probably all bought them. They have caramel on them. They have chocolate on them. They're pretty fine. He worked with Cord Industries to improve his production line and is now selling apples all over North America. Lincoln-born, each of these new and expanded market opportunities are supported by Town of Lincoln policy and the implementation of that policy by our very, very talented staff. Moyer Farms, Cord Industries, and I believe VRIC was involved. Certainly the University of Guelph have partnered to create a sanitizing process that not only kills bacteria such as listeria on fruit and vegetables and leafy greens. The process is now tested in vineyards to kill powdery mildew. Again, the details are in the newspaper article. The devices are available across North America. They kind of look like iron lungs to me, and many locations across the world. The global result is a healthier product, improved shelf life, avoidance of food waste. Created in Lincoln and in Guelph, their expanding business is another example of local innovation impacting globally. And Cord Industries, who you've heard me mention a couple of times, they actually manufacture ship and rail pistons. So you might wonder, how did they ever get connected with the humble apple? Well, they knew about conveyor belts, and so they were eager to help Paul and his team. Clavel manufactures automatic control valves in Canada and eastern United States, in Australia, and in the Far East. And Trenchline, the Wall family, have started on the small industrial mall in Lincoln. Started that in 2022. Phase 1 is completed. And Opard, life-saving hygiene solutions globally. And when it was possible, when there were no clean masks available, Paul Moyer was pushing used masks through his sanitation device. And Opard was they brought on 400 new employees in the flash of an eye. And these are good jobs. And they're local, and so people can continue to work close to home. Vineland Growers have completed a brand new storage and marketing facility in Jordan, and they're improving access to the markets for their members. Vineland Research, again, has been active in tree research, and partly through partnerships with the Town of Lincoln, has led to VRIC scientists further influencing the root and water support systems to the urban tree canopy of the future. We have to keep in mind that as drought rears its head on a regular basis, the way we do things has to be changed, or we're not going to have a tree canopy. Lincoln was the first municipality in Niagara to develop a climate adaptation model, and a healthy tree canopy is core to our success. VRIC research scientist Rachel LeBlanc recently won a prestigious award related to her work with scientists, with research technicians, ag workers, growers, and industry representatives to ensure the most up-to-date science and technologies are employed in regards to the species guidelines, the special guidelines for the planting of trees and for tree survival along highways. Sunrise greenhouses were the first to use artificial intelligence to water monitoring, thus controlling the volume of water needed. Lincoln and Lincoln businesses have succeeded in our achievements to build our economy through supportive roles in post-secondary schools such as Brock and Niagara College, in postgraduate education and science, technology, and the skilled trades. The success we brought from today is through the careful and deliberate support of ag in its diverse manufacturing base. I know that many participating this evening will continue to wonder how Council is going to advance a partnership with the Niagara region on affordable housing. You can expect to see this proceed as a priority. Efficient, effective access to skilled and professional staff will continue in Lincoln. We will continue to search for partner municipalities to control and to consolidate and share services with discretion. I congratulate everyone and commit to you that the services provided by the town will continue to support your success and your future aspirations. And in return, your engagement will contribute to diversity, to inclusion, and the diminishing of cultural gender bias. We will continue to support those who need support, and sometimes it can be the smallest thing, like the timing of payments, or consciously removing delays to your business project, your great idea. A key role as a local government is to build on projects that create local jobs and transportation to and from work, opening doors for everyone who can work. Many job opportunities are being unfilled now, which has a detrimental impact all over Canada, and Lincoln and Niagara are certainly not immune. Each of you has a role to play. Lincoln is a community where people retire. As you can see, we are not retiring in our attitude about the future prospects of a workforce to meet the needs of our growing community. We have set out goals for business growth, for jobs, and improved quality of life through our economic development strategy and its influence through tourism, contributing to the partnerships and also opportunities on all Lincoln brands. We have development strategy. We have balanced growth to pave the way for a stable community for people of all ages, and most significantly for the health and well-being of our children. And as I close, it is the hope for the children of Lincoln and their physical, psychological, and mental well-being that we will set our agenda around the tenets of healthy communities. With this council's continued support, we will continue to deliver an audacious, authentic message of hope, of stability and belonging. Today, we are relighting the torch and setting on our collective journey as a council to ensure Lincoln's future is bright, prosperous, and inclusive for all. I thank you for your attention. It is our collective privilege to serve you. Thank you, Council. The next step in our program this evening is to give consideration to the confirmation bylaw of the proceedings. Bylaw number 2022-79, a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by council resolution. All in favor? There are none opposed. The motion is carried. I will ask our bagpiper to bring the ceremony to a close. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.